And we're back. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Dirty Rook and the Boy. Wait, isn't that what's the name of their fucking show? Fuck them. Who cares? Welcome back to the Menu Midcarders. We're worth your time, and my pizza's almost here. I'm Jake. That's Jake, and fuck it, he can be an honorary Matt. Who cares?
This is a great intro. You get worse at these every fucking time.
It's almost like I plan to do them as worse as possible each time.
I didn't realize we were actually going.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we just start recording. This
Matt
and then
play on his phone.
We have a terrible we don't ever introduce the guest. We just start talking.
I introduced the guest. I said he's Jake and I'm Jake.
Yeah.
You
We'll
can
just let him guess who
Yeah,
it is.
Jake Garvin. Good job. Big beat here.
I did it. I didn't even break a chair.
We are here with the Warhorse.
The Warhorse.
Where is he?
I
I
think that's
he's,
you.
Yeah, I think he's outside cleaning.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's why we-
Short-term attention span, all the concussions and being a horse.
Oh my
It's hard to
God,
remember
yeah.
things.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. So we're recording this right after Hog Wild.
Yep.
People are exiting out as we speak.
So you'll hear them in the background.
I'm sure no teardown's probably going to get done, and I'll be mad when we're done with this. And I'm like, why is the fucking whole ring still up?
Well, it's because the show's tomorrow. Surprise Anarchy show, motherfuckers.
Pay for it. So we're here with the Warhorse.
Pay for it.
I would probably, let's just dive right into it.
Yeah.
So I would say that our fans would say, and I would say, I guess, that like you're probably, so like if you look at like people that were here our first run and that are still here, you've probably made the biggest leap from where you were at the beginning to where you are right now.
Yeah, most definitely.
So, like I think our first run, I think the match that stands out the most that you did was probably the one with Danny Adams, right?
We can't talk about him.
Wait. No. He was in it, but it was the 4-on-4.
So that's what one stands out
You
to
think
you.
not the singles? It was the 4-on-4.
I
You
think
and
the
Hooligans
4-on-4 because people were
Alex?
breaking shit after the match was over. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Austin came out and made that surprise save. And you can't be a ref if you're in the match, but apparently you can. And then they screwed the finish. Everybody was mad.
Yeah, we also
Thanks, Dusty.
tonight we upped it with the bear, a referee bear.
Look, people are talking about Gary and Shire, and like, as much as I wish Gary would have died, like, Christian Rose had to wrestle 3 bears today.
It's true, 3 live and 1 celebrity. And I think it's funny we don't get the credit we deserve. I think as a promotion because you look at all the stars that have come through the area from back in GCW when they had Rob Van Dam to like all the stars Anarchy's brought in.
Wait, when did it? Oh, shit.
And tonight
They did.
Yeah.
we probably brought in the biggest fucking celebrity ever to be on a wrestling show in Winnie the Pooh, who's coming off a pretty rough thing. Is the
Really?
guy? I mean, he's.
Well, check your mailbox, because that cease and desist is coming.
No, I don't give a shit. Winnie the Pooh was here live, unadvertised. You know how much money it costs for me to book? I didn't even advertise him. Didn't even try to make any money.
I don't care
off
how
it.
much money it costs. You got, like, blood and bears? What the fuck are you doing here?
Listen, Frank Disney's coming out of his grave to fucking strangle you and the Jews. He did not like the Jews.
Jesus Christ. Remember that Family Guy episode where they have Walt Disney? And it's
that was his name.
Fucking terrible. Where it's like he comes out of the thing. He's like, "Are the Jews dead yet? Put me back in." It's like Jesus Christ.
No, his head's frozen under Disney World.
Yeah, I firmly believe that. One day he'll rise up in a spider body and shit.
No good.
And you have to fight for your life.
He'll go back to drawing pictures.
Stab his racist ass in the heart.
No, I
But
try.
we're here to talk about you're running Anarchy, not Walt Disney
Now
being
hold
a
on,
racist.
hold on.
We're
Talking about the bears. I
Yes.
need you to find a bear that does package pile drivers, so it can be the Berenstein Bear.
I'll
It's a
work
koala
on
bear.
Please.
it.
I don't
Winnie
know.
the Pooh just started at Elgin School.
Maybe
so
there's
I'm
one
hoping
in San Francisco Zoo.
I'll ask. I'll ask
Check.
around.
You ask.
Yeah.
You're our
I am
San Francisco
inside.
connection. Ask
Yeah.
Nugs. See if he can get you in at the.
Who?
Oh
Don't worry
man,
about it.
he's the California vet.
Do I got to go back and listen to these?
Oh,
to...
no, this is the first we've ever
okay,
talked to him. We don't
all
talk
right.
about
Shut the
the
fuck
school
up.
he trains at in
Oh, it's shut
California.
the fuck up.
But
time.
he did call me once. It was the greatest thing ever.
I can't wait for them to listen to this, and now I've got fucking awesome.
I don't listen to this.
They can. Actually, 2 of them do.
Well, they're not. You didn't shit on him.
Like,
Like,
who are you even
they,
talking about?
They know the story, apparently.
you call me and I just go, hello? He goes, met the California vet. He's beautiful.
He was.
Well, Hopefully that didn't cost you. You didn't badmouth him or nothing.
No, I didn't, but I just don't want it. I don't want it to come across like I did. Jake Parnell is here. Shut the fuck up.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Talking about bears.
So anyway, so the 4-on-4 stands out for you. What stood out for me was always the singles with Danny Adams.
I like the 4-on-4.
Oh, it's because you were in it.
Well,
He was in both.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got fish hooked with a fucking dirty ass fry thing by Alex to take me out of the match.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was gross, but I was like, all right, that sounds fun.
And then he managed Danny,
Yep.
and I did the chair flip on top of you guys,
Yep.
I think. Yeah. Did the footage ever come out of that match?
one of them, I think.
One of them?
I think maybe the 4-on-4 did.
Yeah, 4-on-4 is somewhere.
All these archives are on Independent Wrestling TV right now,
Oh.
but I haven't went through and looked at like every specific rundown to know if those made it. But I don't know.
If they're not there, they're Smart Mark.
Mhm.
Those are the two places. And if they're not there,
They were stolen
Yeah.
by one of the video editors. So yeah, then we go away for a year. You had a run with us at NWL, which we have said this many times on the podcast that the underground gimmick was like one of our favorite gimmicks.
It was, man.
I loved Jackie Lee Bosch. Loved it.
I loved your kinetic energy. I loved that everything you didn't have to make sense. Like you throw a clothesline and then you just fucking hump air for like 30 seconds as the guy's up, selling around.
You know,
did
I do that?
Yes.
I guess you gotta
That's
do
where
what
we
you're
came,
good at.
Yeah, and that's where we come out of that buckle hot.
Yeah, you can't put Jackie in a buckle.
Yeah.
He'll come out hot every fucking time and take
All
your
the
head
time.
off. Yeah.
Oh, fucking
Go back and watch the footage. He can't be put in a buckle.
No.
It's impossible.
Not even the Regal twins can do it.
No, I had so much fun with that gimmick and like the ideas that I had. And then one day, because you weren't in charge necessarily, like everybody else seemed to be cutting you off as far as our stuff went.
Kind of like it was what happens really is once Danny Adams makes that snide Twitter comment when Major shuts down and
Can't talk about
when St. Louis gets shut down out of nowhere and he put out that tweet. It was like St. Louis wrestling will be just fine. Well, that was it for him because that pissed off Chris.
See,
So by proxy, like by that happening, that was the end of you because you were with him.
Yeah,
and
well,
that was it.
is it cool to bring up the NWL stuff?
Yeah, we can talk about any
so
of that.
at
your
one
idea,
point,
too.
I'll bring it up, but
Okay.
like this was after the idea got messed up. I was in the ring talking with somebody, and I just started yelling, and I was so fucking mad. And Chris was standing there like at Sound right next to the fucking Majortron or whatever we call it, and I'm screaming, and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, maybe we'd have some fucking good ideas if dipshits weren't fucking up all the time. And Durden's standing there and he goes, who pissed in your Cheerios? And like my immediate response was, I don't give a fuck. But my idea was, me and Danny had that really good vignette, right? And, And that's, honestly, out of all the NWL stuff, that's what people talk to me about the most. Like I had a lot of people bring that up to me as NWL was going on, and they're like, we loved the vignette, like why didn't you guys do anything? It's like, we kind of did, but
Right.
So that happens. I'm trying to think the sequence of events here. I wanted to have Vega and Fitchett wins the St. Louis tag belts, but they beat us for them to crown the original champion. We jump them and steal the belts. The following week, Major comes out. He has Vega, Fitchett, and a bunch of security with him, right? So the ring's essentially full. And at the Casa Loma Ballroom, they have the second story balcony. Major was going to call out and say, we want our belts back, bring them back. You guys will get a rematch. There'll be no repercussions for this. So I wanted us to appear in the balcony, say, no, you're not getting these back. This is a fallacy. You're not supposed to fight for money. You're supposed to fight because that's what you do. And that was the Underground's whole thing. We were against people monetizing and doing human cockfighting, but we never actually portrayed that very well. But we would slip off to the back. Everything would go back to normal. Maybe a match or two would happen, and then Major would come out, do one of his PowerPoints, and then that's when me and Danny would jump him while he's mid-PowerPoint and kidnap him. And then it would cut to footage of us going outside with the tag belts and Major, throwing him in the back of an NWL truck and stealing the truck. Because that would give us, like, 2 weeks of nonsense as far as like vignettes with Major, and we wouldn't have to be there, and it's just something filler content that you can play on the Majortron.
Yeah.
And like in between the commercials, I don't know. Something could have been done with it. So then we have Major down in a catacomb, right, in a basement, and he's taped to a chair, and Danny's like talking to him because Danny's the straight man. He's like, okay, come on, now you know that this is wrong, and then he's like trying to turn Danny, and you're like, oh, is he actually gonna sway Danny on this? And then it would cut to me screaming at Major and being like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, and just screaming the whole time. And then eventually it would get to a final one, which I just imagine 3 because everything's good in 3s.
Yes.
Me, Danny, Major, all in in the room. Major's duct taped to the chair. I'm shaking a hammer in his face. You can only see from the waist up. And I'm like, you need to shut the NWL down, otherwise bad things are going to keep happening. And he's like, no, I'll never do that. It's about the pure sport of professional wrestling. And I'm like, all right, God damn it. And I swing the hammer down, implying that I'm breaking his foot with a hammer. Then we leave and shut the light off on him, shut the door, and leave Major in a closet.
To die.
Yeah. So then it cuts to the besties, where they're walking around in the Casa Loma. They hear some screaming. They open up the door. Come to find out, we had him in the Casa Loma the whole fucking time.
So you're lazy.
Yes, we're lazy, and it was a ruse, a trick, if you will.
Oh.
We're shysters. No, so then they're like, hey, we need to call the fucking cops. And Major's like, no, my pride's too big. We got to do this in the ring. You guys are going to wrestle them for those belts at the next show. We fucking do the match. We lose again, so we never even held the tag belts. Vega and Fitchick go on to their thing. They're going, or we exit the ring first, go through the stage first. Vega and Fitchick are going. Major's on crutches. All of a sudden, you see Vega and Fitchick fall through the entryway. Me and Danny come back out, attack Major, roll him into the ring. Danny has a chair, and I'm like, hit him, Danny, do it, Danny, hit him, trying to convince Danny to, like, unleash that part. Then, all of a sudden, Mike and Isaac come out. So the Wellston, Des Wellston, and Neon Iverson make the save, and then we can feud with them for a bit. And that was my whole plan. I wrote that 4 months before NWL took off. I had it bullet pointed out.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Yeah, I sent it to you. I talked to your brother about how to, like, script write and do the bullet point thing. So that actually helped me out, because now I can actually plot shit out and show promoters and have shit make sense.
Yes,
Right.
is it pizza time?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, pizza
You
time.
want me to bring it back here?
Yes, please. That's Megan the hall lady. She's bringing me a pizza. Hold on.
Shush.
And we're back, and I have pizza, and that's fucking great. You didn't miss anything, people. Good for you.
So, yeah, you sent me that idea. I took it to them. And look, if we're being completely honest here, which is what we do on the podcast, because that shit's all over with now. 2 things: they would have never did anything with Major doing any physicality in St. Louis, because St. Louis didn't have TV, so he would have never did it. And number 2, the part with his ego would have never allowed, like, where you guys were on the card, if we're being honest, to do anything to him. I wasn't able to get him to do any physicality until it was with Dak Draper.
And see, that was the whole reason I even had the idea, was just so that way there was something else going on that was interesting.
Right.
Like,
well, for the part-time guys, because like a lot of the St. Louis guys always felt slighted because
We were.
I disagree with part of that statement. There are parts of it I agree with, and then parts of it that I don't think guys understood that worked in St. Louis that didn't see Kansas City all the time. And it's like, and we're not going to go on an NWL tangent here, but Major did spend more money in St. Louis to try to make it work than he did Kansas City. The problem was Kansas City was working, and the St. Louis never drew what the numbers were going to be.
Well, because they could never get TV. Because
that's part of it. There's a million reasons why that we've covered in the NWL podcast, so I don't want to talk about all that.
We don't care. But I let you kidnap me, and that was fun.
Yeah.
That was
So
almost like the compromise with it. As I was able to get it to do, like, well, we can do part of the idea with Buddy Shepard, but then by the time we start rolling with it, the Casa Loma days fall apart anyway.
I just enjoyed that when we threw you in the trunk of the car. I remember seeing
The trunk of my car?
Yeah, people were commenting after that, like, saying, why did you throw him in the trunk of his own car?
Yeah, it was his car.
I mean, you're stealing it. You
Right.
throw me in the trunk.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a not thought out process.
No, they steal the car. There you go.
But
So
I
there's
still
that loose end.
I really like that underground gimmick, and
I
it
do.
is one of the things I felt had some real legs to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that if it didn't start at the Casa Loma days, like let's say that like when things started going well for NWL, if we would have put this together then, I think it would have been way more successful because we would have been able to bring it right to TV. Because once we put the brands, quote, brands together, we were able just to debut shit right on TV. And like guys that were decent in St. Louis with decent gimmicks didn't have to fucking wait anymore.
Turn your phone off, asshole.
And, but yeah, those are kind of the NWL days in a quick review.
Yeah.
But now you're like a top guy in St. Louis.
I did it.
And for you thought I hated you, right? You thought I didn't like you.
No.
I thought you didn't like you.
I don't know.
A lot of people think that,
I don't
like
remember.
you.
Honestly, I do.
He just doesn't want to be mean and say, yeah, he thought you
Oh,
hated
that's
him.
fine.
No,
That's
no,
what the
no.
podcast
I'm
is
being
for.
serious. I don't remember. I remember getting nervous around you anytime I talk because we never really had anything to talk about before.
Right.
And so because of that, I'm normally like I try to talk to people.
What the hell are we going to talk about?
Yeah, what are we going to talk about? Oh well, I guess. Oh, maybe that's why I thought you hated me because we had nothing to talk about.
We never had a real conversation. But we did a couple of trips to Kansas City that I thought were fun.
Yeah.
Nigel came with us that one time. That was weird.
Who?
Nigel McGinnis.
Yeah, Nigel McGinnis was
Yeah,
you don't remember?
We decided not to put him on TV. Yeah.
And then we did that Monday Night Raw where we flyered outside the building.
Yeah.
And Triple H was standing on the train tracks. Remember, thinking about fucking ending it all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it this time, Steph.
Yeah. Fuck this. To keep fucking up all my NXT guys, I'm walking in front of this train.
I wish I could remember half the shit we said on the walk back to the car from that.
Probably stuff not appropriate for the podcast even. But yeah, now we're off and running with some cool shit. We were able to announce that in September it'll be you and Nick Gage. It's a pretty big deal, yeah.
I've wanted this match for 4 years at least. Because in 2015, he was at IWA Mid-South, and I watched him wrestle John Wayne Murdoch for like 50 minutes. Literally 50 minutes.
Wow.
They wrestled and had a fucking death match. And it was awesome. I don't know how well it holds up on DVD, but in person it was like the most insane thing I've ever seen. And then I went back to the back. They had both just gotten back into the locker room, and Nick Gage goes, and he's looking at Murdoch, and he's like, just, stone, how Gage talks.
Yeah.
He was like, you hit me in the face with a shovel, knocked out half my tooth. That's good shit. And right then and there, I was like, I gotta fucking wrestle this dude. So I'm excited. Most people would be super nervous and super intimidated. I'm more excited than anybody can realize, especially after him and Gary. I mean, I want to tear the fucking building apart.
Yeah.
That's my MO.
I'd rather you guys not.
You can't have light tubes.
I'll do what I want.
I'd rather you
Fair
not
enough.
destroy the building, but
You burn it down.
They fucking broke the building, and Gary was here tonight bleeding on stuff. You can't...
It wasn't him. It was Shire. He was draped in Shire's blood.
Man,
But I think that's going to be really fun. I think
I think it's gonna be really good. Not so much fun.
I'm excited.
I think people are gonna be running.
Well, the plan is to defend the GHC title against him.
right. Oh yeah, I mean, that's the big
beat
one. Like
Wyatt.
if you're able to,
As long as no horse shit rules or refs get in the fucking way again.
yeah, if that's the big one. If Wyatt comes in Circus Maximus as a champion, I think he's got 3 defenses. He's got a defense against, well, son of a bitch. He's got a defense against that piece of fucking shit, Buddy Shepherd,
I hate
Ew,
that guy.
why?
on Sunday
Where?
at Mixtape.
Really?
Then he's got a defense
Mikey got hurt. That's why.
at Journey Pro, and then he'll have a defense at PWCS. And if he gets through all those defenses, it'll be you and him at Circus Maximus.
I'm just laying it out there. If he loses the belt, I will fuck Buddy Shepherd up.
I think you should.
I hope
I
you
hate
do.
that guy.
I hate Buddy Shepherd
Yeah.
with a fiery
And then-
passion. You know, he told me to suck his dick at the last PWCS.
You know, I'm starting to change my opinion on Buddy Shepherd.
That's gonna
Aggressively,
swing to me the other
too.
way.
He wasn't joking. He looked right in my eyes.
He
said,
meant it.
You suck my dick.
There was hate behind
He
those words.
meant it.
If I was there, I would have slid in the ring and jumped.
I
him.
know you would have.
I would have super kicked him. You would have gotten the pedigree off him.
I don't want to put no hurt on my knees. I probably would have stunned him.
Yeah.
But
In our imaginary thinking, beating up Buddy Jumper, you're like, oh no, imaginary me,
I
he's
still
still
gotta
bad.
protect myself.
yeah.
What kind of strong style high flyer are you?
Well, I used to be a strong style high flyer.
used to.
I'm retired now. But boy, back in my days,
That was a medium
I'd
style
bump and
low
feed
flyer.
you out there. That's for sure.
Bump and
I would bump and feed you, and it would be with ruthless aggression.
Oh. We don't talk about that. Doesn't lead to good shit. All right, well, that's 20 minutes. Fuck you.
Gotta take a break.
Yeah, all right. There might be a food for... I never know if we put food for thoughts or whatever. So there might be something here, and if not, we'll be right back with Jake. This is Jake. Hey, guys. It's food for thought time, and this was recorded well after we talked with Jake. As always, we do everything at the second to last or the last minute. Thankfully, today is Monday when we're recording this. And this is just kind of a food for thought. Talk about PWCS and a couple of other things that are kind of relevant in the news. The first thing that I can think of is that Joey Janela and GCW stole Matt Fitchett's idea to have a backyard show.
They might have, they might not have, but they are having a backyard show.
So,
Are they? I don't really follow. Like, are they actually having it in the backyard?
I don't really know. So let's talk though. PWCS, you were there. I was not. Did Buddy Shepard show up? And did you whoop his ass?
He did not show up.
Coward.
I think Buddy knows better than to show up before the mega ticket. If he does, I plan on stabbing him. But no, he wasn't there. But I still was armed with a stake because Gangrel was there, and you just never know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a fun show. Top to bottom, I thought it was a good card. I watched most of it. Yeah, it was a good show. Gangrel's always been cool. Met him years ago.
Now, my question to you would be, how did Greg recreate his entrance of coming up in that flame circle? Like,
Well, I didn't want to tell you, but we jackhammered the building. So we destroyed the building. We made a nice little circle of fire.
cool.
Fortunately, Gangrel caught on fire, and it's a messy situation. I'm surprised the dirt sheets haven't picked up on that yet, but yeah, it was rough. No,
You remember that
it was
time
cool.
Taker caught on fire during his pyro that went up his jacket and he ran to the ring?
Yeah, I do.
Fuck
He's
you,
cool.
Taker.
I had very brief interaction with him, said hello to him, didn't say nothing the whole rest of the day, but right before, like, you know how Spalding is, where you walk out of, like, the kitchen into, like, that little, right before you walk out the curtain.
Yeah.
Well, he was standing in the kitchen, and he couldn't really hear the music. So he was like, is this me? I was like, no, not yet. And I just walked out of that little, in that hallway, had to fix the curtain, otherwise people would have seen Gangrel the second he opened, like, the kitchen door. So I fixed that. His music hit. I said, this is you. And he went, thanks. And that was my interaction with Gangrel.
Cool.
But I've heard a ton of cool stories about him. He was cool. We met him years ago when Quack was doing those Wrestling Is shows. I remember I think he worked Vega in like
Yeah.
trios. It was him and
And Alex
Tucker
Castle and Matt
Buffet,
Cage, yeah.
Vampires.
He made them into the Daywalkers, if I remember their names correctly.
Right. So
Because we wrestled
cool.
them when they were the Daywalkers for old Rigger, if you'll remember. Global, whatever he called his one show he ran that he had like 10 people on.
Yeah, it was a rough night if you were Rigger.
Yeah. I still love you,
yeah.
Rigger.
Yeah. He's always nice.
No
I
reason
think
to
Gangrel took 2 floor bumps during the match. It was cool.
Yeah. He pull out some finger pistols and start shooting on old KC.
No. There wasn't really much shooting going on. Well, Wyatt shot pretty nice with a nice forearm to the kid he worked. But that was funny.
Jesus. Oh yeah, how did that go? It was the whole seminar to a match to
I'll
Wyatt.
say I thought that, it was fine. Like, I'll be honest, I wish more people would have signed up for the seminar. Like,
Makes you a
there
little.
weren't as many people doing the seminar as you would like to see when you have a guy in there with the knowledge of Gangrel.
And it makes you a little
That's
hesitant to do it in the future. Like, oh, well.
Well, it's something to maybe wonder, like, I don't want to say this in a way that makes it sound like I'm burying Gangrel, because it's definitely not what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he's not a hot indie guy, so it's not like with Jonathan Gresham. He's a big indie guy and knows his shit. But, just because Gangrel isn't a, like, New Japan star or a hot indie guy doesn't mean he doesn't know his shit. And, I would have liked to have seen more people sign up for that because, a guy like him, rather you're a fan of that old school style of wrestling or not, all those dudes can work. And to me, if you've ever cashed a WWE paycheck, on a consistent basis, not on fucking Ron Powers and I had a cup of coffee but like that sounds bad just to randomly bury Ron Powers. It's the first name that popped in my head.
Well, all right. If you're Matt Fitchett and you got to wrestle Luke Harper one time.
No, but even Fitchett went overseas, so even Fitchett could be like, okay, here we go, and I don't give a shit to bury this guy. If you're Brandon Espinosa and you've done a handful of extra work, now that doesn't mean you've worked for WWE. It means you've done some extra work. Gangrel had a run and knows what he's talking about, and I'd have liked to have seen more people do that. I really feel like we just took a long way around to bury Ron Powers and Brandon Espinosa just to save more people did a Gangrel seminar.
Yeah, why are you saying that weird? It's Gangrel, not Gangrel. It's not cool quick.
Gangrel. Is it Gangrel?
Gangrel. Grel. G-R-E.
You fucking know. I don't even know his name. He's a nobody.
Who even gives a shit? Nobody listens to
Who
him.
cares? I'm trying to be nice to Gangrel. Now you're forcing me to bury him. No, really. I wish more people would have done his seminar. He's a cool guy and knows his shit. So, people missed out and decided not to do it. But
I'm looking at you, ACH. That's you, by the way.
No, I did come out of retirement as ACH. My booking email is empty.
It is gogoach@gmail.com.
But, yeah, good show.
What would you say your favorite match of the night was?
That I watched.
Yeeth.
Probably Cody Lane and Everett Connors. A lot of people seem to like the Jake Parnell-Paco match, but I didn't see that. I watched the Cody Lane-Connors match. It was very good.
Yeah. Jake and Paco probably was fucking really excellent, honestly, because, Jake is phenomenal as well, but Paco's really come into his own. We've said that for a long time, but, he's really figured out who, it's always it's always harder to me to be a babyface to find yourself, unless you have, a character. But as a heel, it's so much easier to find your rhythm and your flow, I feel.
I drew money as a heel and a face pretty much from jump.
Yeah, but you're the exclusion to the rule.
I can't relate to any of that, but
yeah.
I'm sure you're right.
When Christian Rose talks about 1 in a million, that's you. The rest of us are 1 of a million.
The part of that, I didn't tell this story correctly because I didn't want to rub it in people's faces, but when I slapped down those Captain D coupons, and they realized who I was, they gave me that fish for free. But I don't like to rub that in people's faces.
That's fair. All right, well, good. I'm glad. And hopefully you can find this show up on...
I doubt the footage ever comes out.
Oh. Well, hopefully...
I don't know.
Hopefully it does. Hopefully you can find this show somewhere. Because Greg does have good shows. They're good shows. He puts on good workers. But that's not all we're here to talk about today. It was PWCS from the past weekend. We're also here to really stress home, don't fucking jump the guardrails or touch the wrestlers. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
A good idea. It's weird because to me, Now, I want to say this is two different things. Like, what happened to Scarlett Bordeaux is unacceptable. Like,
Agreed.
You should never
Grope
try to grope a female wrestler, manager, announcer,
any.
ring crew member, like anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is two different things. Like, that's unacceptable. And, I don't want to say, because I believe people who are trying to go on Twitter and go, well, what she was wearing, blah, blah, blah. I just can't believe those are real people. I feel like those are just troll accounts of people trying to get a rise out of people. I don't believe there could really be people that feel that way, but maybe there are.
Maybe there are.
But yeah, don't touch the fucking female performer.
Don't touch the male performers.
Well, don't touch the male performer either, but for me, when I was a heel and I was working, man, I wanted someone to hit me or take a swing at me or come over the rail. Like, I remember always reading about Freddie Blassie getting stabbed all those times. That was my goal for the beginning part of my career. I wanted someone to stab me. I was like, all right, that would be really cool.
That's a little extreme, don't you think?
Probably, but I mean, I like that kind of heat. I like that kind of emotional investment from the fan, that you're that pissed off, that you're that much believing that what you see is 100% real, that you want to put your hands on me and you want to come over the guardrail at me. Like, I wanted that. And I sometimes feel like, okay, let's say if I'm a heel and I'm yelling at a fan and that fan gets fucking pissed off and pushes me or throws a water on me or their beer even or soda, whatever, I wouldn't really give a shit for that fan to not be thrown out. I think that was great. I got some good heat. Fuck yeah. I don't really care about that. But now you have a performer on the other end of the spectrum that will go on to social media, but that fan's a piece of shit. They should have been banned and removed. Now, I can understand that thought process. I'm just talking about me personally. When I was working, I wouldn't have so much care. I wouldn't even so much care if the fan hit me. They would just need to be prepared to defend themselves. But wouldn't give a shit if they got thrown out or not.
Would you say wrestling don't mean that much to you? That old.
I mean, if they hit me, I'm gonna fucking beat them up, fuck them up. Like, that's what I'm gonna do in retaliate in reaction to that. But if they still want to sit in the seat afterwards, I wouldn't care. I mean, but as a promoter, I guess I think opposite. Like, if you touch the performer at Anarchy, I would have you removed simply because it's not right to do. So it is not right to touch a performer in any way. But I'm just saying, on the performer side, when I was working, I didn't so much care if someone did. It wouldn't really bother me.
So that's just your long roundabout way of saying the rules don't apply to you. Great.
Not to me. I'm not fucking hitting myself. I'm just saying if a fan hit me, I wouldn't have cared. Like, it wouldn't have bothered me. I just look at it as, well, fuck, they're really falling for whatever we're doing here.
I see what you're saying, but I have to disagree just because it sets a precedent that, did you see that fucking Ron Powers just as a fan hit Matt Jackson I guess now I can do it. So
well, sure. No, that's why it's not right to touch the performer. Like, it's like a double-edged sword. Like, I'm not saying, like, you shouldn't give a shit if a fan hits you. I'm just saying just an incident as me as a performer, it wouldn't bother me. But as a promoter, obviously you have to throw that fucking person out, because you're right. It sets a standard of the rest of the people thinking, we can hit the performer. And then you're opening up fucking Pandora's box. You're going to have a fucking riot on your hands.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say this. There's another end to this where people are, like, some performers go on social media and, like, complain about, like, name calling, things that fans call them. And I don't know, that never bothered me either. Like, I've been called every name in the book. I've been made fun of for various different things about my appearance, none of which ever personally offended me.
So you're saying you wouldn't have someone escort that person to a separate locker room or bully rake and verbally berate them?
That's ridiculous to me. Now, I mean, if he's yelling sexually suggestive things at the female talent, I mean, that's different. See, to me, that's all different. Like, if you call a female talent a bitch or something like that, now, sure, I don't think that warrants, like, you're out of here or you're getting escorted to the back. It just depends on what you're saying, I guess, in my opinion.
I think the big thing is like he had referenced that one of the girls was dating or had dated Bubba, and that's
who cares? To me, who gives a fuck about that? Like,
yeah,
the name calling can go too far and can cross the line of being overly offensive. I agree with that, but you know, we have our policy at Anarchy, and we went over it a million times of the, you know, you'll be warned the first time, you'll be thrown out the second time, you'll be banned the third time. Because I don't think every fan that does things like that is sexist or whatever. Some people just get way too fucking drunk and act like an idiot. Some people need to just be educated.
Yeah.
And sadly, some people don't know any better because they were never fucking taught, and that's really sad to think about. But it does exist, and but I think you got to be real careful when you just start banning people for name calling. Depends on what the name is. I mean,
really, to me, unless it's like a slur or something
so
derogatory,
racial,
yeah, like that.
Like homophobic, but I mean, me and you, on a weekly basis when we would work, were called every homophobic slur in the book. Every weekend when we were heel, we were called homophobic slurs. Because when we were down, not every Southern Indie's this way, so I don't want to make it sound like the whole South is like this.
Basically, if you've ever been to a Carrie Awful promotion, it's this. He doesn't listen, it's fine.
Yes, that's definitely not true. But some of these southern towns, when we would go there, if you were a heel tag team, you were homosexual. And that's just the first fucking thing those fans would go to, and we were called every name in the book.
Now, it didn't help that once they opened that door, we blatantly walked into that fucking house. Like, oh yeah, that's what you think? I think we rubbed noses, cheek kisses.
Right. We tried to make them feel as uncomfortable as possible for being fucking idiots. But, you know, it's... As a performer, you need to have thick skin. Now, like I said, things can go too far.
Yes.
But you have to have thick skin. And as a fan, if you're going to say shit to a wrestler, then you better fucking have thick skin. Here's a perfect example. NWL days, there was a fan who would come to the shows and call the wrestlers every fucking name in the book. Make fun of them if they were overweight. Shit like that.
Oh, yeah, he was super mean to me.
One day, Wyatt's fucking working a guy over. He's yelling shit at Wyatt. Wyatt yells at him, "Sit down, fat boy." Now, this is a guy who has called people every name in the book. Monday morning rolls around. We're on a conference call. And Major tells us how this fan personally sent him an email going on about how deeply offended he was that Wyatt called him that and said, "I brought my son and my son's friend to the show, and the whole way home, my son kept saying, 'Daddy, you're not fat,' and it was so humiliating and embarrassing and blah, blah, blah." Now, this guy was angling, trying to get free shit. And the thing is, like, now you call these wrestlers, female and male, every name in the book, and then Wyatt fires back on you with that, and you're sending the company an email about how deeply offended you were. That's the kind of stuff that I don't like.
Yeah. Obvious gold digging. I see that. Yeah, it's not that guy didn't have thick skin. He just had, deep pockets that he wanted somebody to line him with.
Oh, yeah, people did that to Major all the time. We'd get emails about shit like just the silly shit of people trying to get free stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it took too long to get through the line at the door. Like, I should get something for like a free T-shirt or something. Like, there's all kinds of stupid shit. But
Yeah.
I think the moral of this whole thing is don't touch the performers. You know, if you go to a fucking basketball game and you're sitting courtside, you can't just reach out and slap the fuck out of LeBron James. So you should have that same mentality going to a wrestling show.
I would like to see
you know,
someone try, though.
old boy for the Warriors just got a year-long suspension and fucking $500,000 fine for pushing a player.
No. You want to push me? Push me. I'll cry. I'll fucking drop into a ball and cry like a little bitch.
Jesus.
Also, don't say anything mean to me either. Because
Yeah, and I think you have to be careful what you say and not cross that line.
And that can go both ways, let's be honest.
Right, that
Sometimes
can go for
a wrestler can say too much.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, wrestlers say stupid shit too. It's not just a fan problem. It's a wrestling problem too. I think everybody could have a little thicker skin, but I also think common sense would be greatly appreciated. I think the wrestling business would greatly appreciate it if someone would just inject like 500 cc's of common sense into it.
Yeah.
And
Should I say the N-word or shouldn't I?
Right. Like, if everybody just fucking used a little bit more common sense, the business and everybody would just be much better off.
Yeah. So that's it. PWCS was pretty damn good. Don't touch the wrestlers and just use common sense. Hope we gave you enough food to think on. 21 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So, guys, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be Circus Maximus. And I don't mean to
record that at the outro.
What? Oh, we're going to record an outro now, too? God damn it. All right. I got to go because we got to record some bullshit outro. Fuck. And I finished chewing and we're back.
Yeah, are you fucking done?
Yeah,
I'm hungry, all right?
God.
I flew from California with no
Who
food.
gives a
I
shit
don't
what
care.
you
Put
did?
another slice in your mouth and shut
That's
up.
for
All right.
that's for tomorrow's review podcast.
Yeah,
There's a couple things I want to get into. First, I know you don't like him, but I want to get into the feud with Gary.
Oh, fuck.
Now, we're good friends with Gary. We appreciate you coming and doing the podcast, even though you don't like him.
And
Appreciate you still coming on here with us and bullshitting.
even though we only had to pay you $50.
But I will say that what's neat about it from a fan perspective is you don't see many fights going all over the place. And the last two people to really do that from this area were Matt Sydal and Delirious. And I kind of feel like you guys even eclipsed them, which is a fucking big deal because theirs was always just about, who is the better competitor, where your guys is a very personal feud. But it must be pretty cool to get to take that fight all over the country.
No, it's weird how many people have seen the feud. It's weird to me, especially I go out of the Midwest every once in a while, but 9 times out of 10 I have a show in the Midwest. But to go to New Jersey and people are hearing about it, or go down to Florida and people are hearing about it, it's people forget that wrestling's about fighting. And at the root of it, it's about violence.
Right.
And to know that me and Gary are trying to tear each other's fucking heads off really resonates with people.
Right.
And that there's no quit in either of us. I don't know that there's a heel or a face.
I mean, does there have to be? Can there just be two competitors fighting to see who the better one?
Exactly. And that's something I feel wrestling's lost. And that's why people invest in this feud, because really it's the only feud that's been going on consecutively that hasn't had a swerve, had a change, insulted anybody's intelligence, because we've been fighting the whole time. And, it's really hard to like somebody whenever they rip a fucking hook out of your face.
Well, right.
Really? When did that happen?
Oh, let me tell you about it.
And it's hit a lot of the major promotions. I mean, you've done that match. You fought Gary in Evolve. You fought him in CZW.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's just going around to mom and pop indies. It's hit a lot of major things and main evented a show WrestleMania weekend, which was neat for us as a company, because here we are based in St. Louis, and able to have like a main event on a show WrestleMania weekend, and that was really neat for us as a brand.
There were a lot of people trying to lay claim to that match, but really it was St. Louis Anarchy. It was like when Anarchy went out, the feud started to take off a couple months after that because Gary started challenging me for the 0-1 heavyweight title. So it was almost like Anarchy without Anarchy.
Right, and the thing is, and I like 0-1. I'm not here to shit on 0-1, and I'm certainly not.
I would hope not. I hold two of the
right, and I'm certainly not going to like try to get you to shit on 0-1. But I can say this.
But what do you think of the owner and the fact that he is
he keeps telling me I need a fucking tan.
What I'm saying though is, like, I don't know. I don't care how it comes out, and I like Dave, so I hope he don't like take this bad, but. Let's not pretend that Gary was ever booked at 0-1. So it's like Gary, by challenging you on starting that online, is how he got booked at 0-1. Yeah. So it's not like this feud starts as any other wrestling feud, but becomes very personal when he fucking almost rips your fucking lip out legitimately.
Yep.
But this wasn't like a guy going, I want these two guys to fight for this belt. This was, oh, this guy's blowing up our Twitter online and is really getting traction. Let's do this match. And then it becomes very personal for real because of the fucking turnbuckle hook. So, like, even as Anarchy, we never tried to, like, lay claim to it, or at least I never did. I was told, hey, we're putting on this thing, WrestleMania weekend, everybody gets to send a match. What do you want to send? I go, well, we're going to send Gary and Jake. That's, like, the biggest fight going on, so let's send that. And then they made the choice to make it main event.
Yeah, and they didn't even consult you right away, did they?
No. I knew. I think I might have known. I'm trying to think if I think I knew the day they announced it, maybe.
I didn't know until they announced it. Nobody tells me shit.
I didn't know until I was literally. I just got done strangling Gary with an electrical cord. I was walking to the back. Dylan came out, Dylan Hales, he announced it, and I was like, oh, I guess we're fucking doing that, now I gotta hit him again.
Dylan Hales, of course.
Yeah, Dylan, of course, you piece of shit. No, so as far as the 0-1 thing goes, I told them, I was like, let's fucking do this match, and it took a little bit of doing for me to even do it, and then we didn't even have the first match at 0-1. It was for the junior heavyweight title, and it was at a show in Tennessee that shut down, like, immediately.
It was so good. They were like, we can't top this.
Yep, we're done.
Shut it down.
But me and Gary had the match there, and then Dave asked me, he's like, how'd it go? I'm like, man, it was good. You need to fucking do this because people in our area want to see it. And I was like, I guarantee people from St. Louis will come.
Yep.
And so he booked it, and it was the main event. And I don't know what else was on the card, but the St. Louis fans showed up, Mattoon fans showed up, and certain people that were through Central Illinois that had been seeing me and Gary go back and forth on Twitter about it showed up, and it just packed the house. It went to a draw, and then instantly, after the bell rang, Dave ran up to the ring, and he's like, hey, I want to give you guys 5 more minutes. And I was like, no, we'll settle this a different day. And so we just kind of, me and Gary just had a mean mug contest. He left the ring, and I realized, boy, this is a real ass-kicking contest.
How fucking dare you tell the promoter no?
Well, and like...
I do what I want. I'm the Warhorse.
The thing
Warhorse!
Is... Watch this. I'll eat your pizza, too.
No!
The thing is, too, like, and again, I'm not... I mean, I can say what I want.
You're the promoter.
Well, I just don't care about heat. But, like...
Yeah, gang.
What I don't... And Gary would never say this, but I can say it. Like,
yeah, get him not booked somewhere.
Well, he barely gets booked at 0-1 anyway, and that kind of bothers me because it's tomorrow? Like tomorrow. I mean, he probably won't be back for another year, and it's like I just don't understand things like that. I guess that's all I'll say about it. Like, I feel like
so that bothers me too because I try to talk to them about bringing in different people, especially because they're on Powerbomb. So they actually have. They have people watching their product, and they're only using certain people, and I try to put over so many people, but...
Well, and I get it as a person that books a show. Like, you can't get on everybody. You can't even get on everybody that's good. So I get it. But...
You gotta make room for the me's of the world.
But, like, someone like Gary, whether you like him or not, is
I don't.
one of the top fucking 4 guys in this area, and transitions in every like Gary will go tear the house down at Logan Square on Sunday and probably never see AAW and probably won't be back in freelance for God knows how long. And these aren't companies I dislike. It's just me looking at things and going, I don't know, man. Like you and Gary, in my opinion, should either be on every freelance show or every fucking AAW show. And I don't there are just certain guys that you make room for. You can't do that with everybody. It's impossible. But there are some guys you should, and that's just my opinion.
No, your opinion definitely holds weight. But I do like every once in a while when I do get to freelance, and I just enjoy that crowd of people knows who I am, and they're like excited to see me.
Right.
It's like, okay, this is cool. I wouldn't mind doing like once every 3 months or something
Right.
if it was up to me. But it's
Right.
not. It's up to the booking schedule and how many people he already had booked
Right.
beforehand.
Again, you can't get everybody on every show. It's just
Exactly.
sometimes it sucks
But a
to
rotation
see.
doesn't hurt.
You can. I was on a show with fucking 80 people in the locker room once. You can. It just sucks, and why?
Yeah. Boy,
All right, we're not here to talk about Mid-South. Calm down.
No, this was in New Jersey. I drove fucking 12 hours for that.
Gary was on a show recently and sent me a text that just said match 10 of like 12 or something. I was like, ugh. Or no, it was like match 11 of 13. And I was like,
We were on a show with like 80 people. The fucking Beyond Tag Tournament show had like every fucking buddy and then their partner.
Yep. I used to double shot Strictly Insane because of that.
Yeah.
Because Mid-South would be running on Saturdays and Strictly would be running on Saturdays. And so I'd do Mid-South, drive, gain an hour on the way back, and fucking still wouldn't go on until goddamn midnight.
Jesus
Main event.
Christ.
Making towns, bro.
fuck
Double
that.
shot.
Hell yeah.
Same day.
Road Warrior, Warhorse.
One time I fucking did 5 shows in 2 days. It was insane.
That seems fair.
I don't know why the fuck I was doing that back then, but I mean,
Because you can.
because I could, and I was real worried about after the Viking War Party just like fading off and being a nothing.
You have to go
I'm
back
still
to being a
worried
magician.
about that. Yeah, that's why I fucking.
I think you've moved past that. I think
No,
you're
I'm
good.
just, if I don't have that in my head, I won't try as hard. So I still think everybody could forget about me tomorrow. So
And that's a
why
good
I
mindset to
try.
have, and I think that you.
I think that's what separates you from a lot of people because let's talk about creativity because you're fucking creative. You literally, if you imagine it, you can bring it to a realm of fucking reality. You talked backstage. You've made a fucking promo wall. And you showed me pictures
Let me
of it.
show you so that way they can get your genuine reaction.
Like,
I also agree with them. I think you're very creative. And Time Magazine actually named me 13th most creative. Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's a full wall too. That's like a
that's
close-up of it.
I mean, like-
You can't see it. We're not going to put any pictures.
Yeah,
up
none of
because
your fucking business.
that's- you buy a $5 promo
Oh, wow.
coming
Yeah.
soon, and then you can see it in
That's
the background of that
fucking
$5 promo you did.
Which is another great thing. Like that's a good marketing thing. Like it's not expensive. Most people can spare $5, and then you deliver on all the promos. It's such a good marketing thing.
And it keeps me sharpened up on promos, and I try to make each one different.
Yeah.
I think I've only had 2 in the maybe 80 that I've done that I felt the same as far as like cutting them. I was like, oh my
What's
god.
the not weirdest, but maybe the most
unique
one? Yeah.
I did one about Tinder dating. I did one saying that I was going to fight irritable bowel syndrome. I did one for promoting a show in Mexico, which was weird. I wasn't on the show. I was paid to do their English advertising. I'm trying to think. There was one where I was paid to dump on McDonald's and say Wendy's was better, and then there was someone who paid me to do the opposite and say that everybody that bought the first promo was wrong and stupid. And then I had my car broke down on the way to Chattanooga, Tennessee, so I had to rent a U-Haul and a tow bar to get my car home. Well, I was driving and I was like, boy, what? I wish I had that app that you could fucking pick something up in Nashville and drop it off in St. Louis. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Those TV shows where they just sit there and they bid on stuff.
Right.
I was like, man, what if because I just have all this empty space, what if I just cut promos in there? Nobody's going to buy that. Wait a minute. I could probably pay for at least gas if I do that. And I ended up making fucking $500 that night because people were willing to donate. And I had the cops called.
Yeah, I seen you posted.
Yeah, I was in a Casey's parking lot and I'm screaming in the back of this promo and I'm like, and I will fight until I breathe my last breath. Cop car pulls up. And I'm like, hey, is there a problem, officer? And he goes, yeah, you can't be doing this. And he was really nice about it and he was like, I thought when they said person on a U-Haul screaming, I thought you were going to be on top of the U-Haul screaming at the Casey's gas station. I'm like, I'm sorry you had to think that. But that's a practicality in your fucking head.
Well, did you explain to him, like, hey, I'm a wrestler and I'm making some money to try to pay for this U-Haul?
Yeah, he loved the idea and he ran my license because he was like, okay, in case you ever get famous, I can say I ran your license. So they ran my fucking
I'm sure
license.
that's why.
Yeah, the only reason.
Yeah, not to
That's
say
what he told me, and he was really nice. And
That's cool.
I still kick myself in the ass for not getting a selfie with him because he was just like he would have.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He was just real nice. We bullshitted for like 6 or 7 minutes. He left. I drove over to a bank parking lot, finished out the promos, announced a pregnancy. I announced a woman's pregnancy to her friends. That was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the coolest one then to me because that's just so out of the realm of pro wrestling even.
It isn't, but it is. It was just fucking great. It was just nice to see what people...
I hope that lady hires you for the gender reveal.
I hope so too. You know, two-parter.
Get
But
that extra 5 ski, brother.
no, I had to up my thing for other promotions. So if you run a promotion, you want me to do a rundown of your show, it's 20.
Yeah.
But that's
That's
because it fucking takes me forever, especially if I don't know people on the show. It takes me forever to remember all the goddamn names and stipulations and location.
Well,
and
and
shit.
too, like as more and more people do it, you almost have to up the price. I mean, you do have a life. Like you can't sit there forever and cut
Yes, I can.
25,000.
You're not the boss of me. I made a fucking wall. No, that whole thing was paid for by promos. That whole wall thing I just showed you, the fucking guitar project that I'm working on that they'll see. And basically, I have a bunch of shit that I laid out, and I'm like, I need to get this done. And I read a couple like motivational books by Gene Simmons, weirdly enough, but I laid it all out. And by the time Circus Maximus gets here, I'll be ready to pull the trigger, and everything's gonna like fall into place. So that's my plan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it's neat too because like we see that like now that we've launched this Patreon, like the fan base, like if you put out quality content, like they will support it and they'll support it to like no end, and that's
awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So like to make that much money cutting promos to pay for all that shit, like I mean, that goes to show the reach, and like that's fucking great shit there.
How many of them are personal that you only release to the person themselves, or are they all just public?
I'd say maybe 1 out of 10.
Okay.
And half of those, it's just the person just didn't release it. I don't release the promos myself. I let them do it. Because it's their property. It's up to them what they want to do with it.
That's fair.
And you know, sometimes they want to surprise their friends with it, and I'm yelling at somebody's friend and calling a little baby dork ass or something like that, and they love that. I put that on a shirt, but right now they shut down the website. They're working on bringing it back, so hopefully in the next few weeks everybody can get their baby dork ass merch, get their fix.
That's awesome.
I cut promos while I was on vacation.
Oh,
I literally
you
stopped.
get any heat from the office?
No, I told her, I was like, look, just give me an hour. I'll go knock all these out. I cut one for Journey. You saw it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did the rundown for Journey. Somebody sent me money to do that. I did. One of the guys here tonight, he wants to be a wrestler, and he's like, I think he's doing one of the local shows around here, but it's not Dynamo. It's like a step below.
RCW maybe?
Something like that. But he's doing those, and he's like, hey, I just, give me some motivation. What do you think
Quit that
wrestling,
shit-fed promotion.
Well, that was another thing I told him. I'm like, just get your training and then just be yourself and have a personality, because there's too many fucking moves in wrestling. There's not enough personality.
We talk about that all the time. Like, well, tonight we've seen like Shire have a big moment, which we'll talk about in the review podcast. But to
Which
me,
will come out before
He just
this.
fell in some ketchup.
Yeah.
yeah, smacked a ketchup packet or two on his head.
That's actually what we have under the ring. It's just ketchup packets.
Yeah,
Lots
I
of
mean, I'm gonna take this pizza out there and get some extra tomato sauce on it
Just
later.
douse myself in it.
No, whenever the turnbuckle thing happened, I wish I had $1 for every person that said it was fucking fake.
Ugh,
Yeah. It was
Like, oh, yeah?
obnoxious.
Fuck
Yeah,
off.
like
Jesus Christ! I don't see. I've seen a lot of shit in my day, and that was pretty fucking gruesome. Like, yeah, I remember I watched it. I was like, Jesus Christ.
we went to the hospital, and mind you, my mouth is still hanging open.
Yeah, flapping in the air.
And the nurse walks in, and she goes, "What seems to be the problem?" And I go, "Well, I lost my smile."
At least you probably. Well, at least you have.
She didn't get the fucking joke, so I was mad.
Bitch.
We get it, though, that late.
Yeah.
We'll go back there, jumper.
Yeah, fuck you, Nurse Ratchet.
Yeah, ha.
Fucking nerd.
So we got about 2 minutes left.
I think as long as we want. You don't own Jake.
Where can people
Yeah.
buy these promos from you?
Horsepower promos at yahoo.com. And
yeah.
I put the name. It'll just say horse dick if in the name instead of Jake Parnell. Because I didn't
that's
realize
great.
anybody could see it.
Yeah, they can see
So-
it.
No.
It'll come up. You just sent horse dick
It just says horse
$5.
dick now.
Hey, Scott, why
And
did
I
you
tried-
send horse
yeah.
dick?
No, I tried
ruining
to change it. It
marriages
didn't
all
work.
over.
It didn't work because I sent myself an email from it and it still says horse
Well,
dick.
that happened. Like I had my Xbox gamer tag, and just I was like, "Oh, this will be funny." I made the name Big Daddy Beef and made the fucking guy just look ridiculous. And then finally, I'm like, "All right, this is like 10 years later. I need to switch this shit." It won't let me switch it. They want to charge me $20 to change it. I go, "Well, fuck it. I'm just gonna keep it."
You're Big Daddy.
Yeah,
Big
Big Daddy Beef.
For life.
So then I went like, we babysit the kids. I'm like, "Who's Big Daddy Beef?" Shut the fuck up. This one.
Who's Big Daddy Beef do you think?
Yeah. Don't you talk to Big Daddy Beef like that. Who are you to question Big Daddy Beef? Big Daddy
I just
Beef,
go on a
battle cat.
tirade.
Got so many things.
Yeah.
So a lot of people might be annoyed because we didn't ask the standard 5 questions.
What are the standard 5?
How'd you find out about wrestling? Where'd you train? What'd you
I
get your
found out
start
about
at?
wrestling by watching it.
Yeah, who
I
cares?
trained over there.
Yeah.
What are the other 3?
I don't know.
I'll
Here's
do
my-
them. We got fucking 20 seconds.
all right, here's my question. What keeps you in wrestling?
I love it.
Okay.
I can't imagine myself doing anything else. Like
Not even ballet.
No.
Because
man.
I had a run
My
as a
toes
ballet.
hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a run in ballet.
Yeah, a quick
I'll
run,
fucking
quick cup of
pirouette.
coffee. Quick
He was
cup
the
of coffee.
Nutcracker.
I
Hello.
who that?
Coming in to interrupt.
Oh, it's
is,
fucking.
of course, it's Kenway. Is the ring down?
Yeah, rings down. I'm just heading
Rings
out.
down. Put
Cool.
it back up. You need to practice.
See you later, man. Thank you.
All right, we're saying goodbye because it's
Sorry.
wrestling
Bye,
tradition.
You're
Kenway.
fine.
There you go, and that's the only time Kenway will now be on the podcast.
Yeah, live it up, kid.
Fuck out.
Larry,
My moment.
get out of here, you fucking nerd.
In kayfabe.
All right, what was the question?
What keeps you in wrestling?
Well, I mean, I have other projects that I work on and that I don't know I'm motivated to do. Like I have an invention that I'm trying to fucking patent, and it's really good. I'm not going to talk about it on here.
Talk about it
will
off.
Steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I need to patent that shit. I need to like trademark the Warhorse logo. I have a whole fucking list of stuff I made that I need to do, and
Go on Shark Tank, brother.
I'm going to. Well, I gotta get the patent first, otherwise they're just gonna steal my shit.
They would. They're
They
sharks.
Would. They would. They're sharks.
Whole
I
point of
can't-
the show.
I'm not even good at swimming.
They'll eat you.
You're a horse. Of course you're not.
They'll eat you.
I just
You have no hands to
I got
cup
these
the water.
floppy hooves.
All right. Well, that's a good wrap-up point. Yeah.
Good wrap up.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that all you got?
Yeah.
All right. What,
So-
what do you want to promote?
Big Daddy Beef.
Big Daddy Beef.
Big Daddy
Starting me a sausage business.
Beef.
A sausage.
You can find me at JP Warhorse on Twitter and Instagram, and then just like my page on Facebook, Warhorse Jake Parnell.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't buy my T-shirts. Hopefully, if you're listening to this late, you can get my shirts from fullygimmick.com. But as of right now, the site's down because they're having a health scare. But it's not that scary, and I think they're gonna do well and pull through.
Have
They're good.
they bought a promo?
They, not to announce to their family, but
Yeah.
they have. I had to announce for their Punk Pro show.
Really?
I had to do a rundown for their show. Yeah,
Huh.
Oh yeah.
I've done too many fucking weird promos, man. In my gym of stuff, I made everything out of wood.
My whole gym could go up in flames at any minute.
Right.
The
Warhorse was burned alive.
Yeah. In his shitty gym made of toothpicks and popsicle
But he'll
sticks.
be at Circus Maximus.
He'll be here rising from the ashes, half a face.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up. Cool.
All right, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I think Jake's one of the most, like, fucking unique and creative people.
All
All right,
said that
fuck you.
before. You're great. I want to try to get some goddamn sleep.
Oh, get some goddamn
You can
wings.
sleep
and
here,
shit.
we're still talking.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. All right, thanks, guys. This has been Jake Parnell. I'm Jake, and you're Big
I'm
Daddy
tired.
B.
Let's wrap this bullshit up.
Fucking tired. I'm tired. I'm Dad. Oh God, what a great talk that was, and what. Honestly, I can still remember the taste of that pizza in my mouth. Yum. But we're here to talk to you today about Circus Maximus, and if you've got a little bit of time, please lend us your ears.
Yep, Circus Maximus tickets on sale now. cm19.bpt.me. Front row is gone. $15 GA is all that remains. We are 20 tickets away from my July 1st goal, so I don't know if we're going to hit that.
Okay.
But tickets are moving fast, so
Is there a pre-party?
pick one up. Yeah, there's always a pre-party.
Ooh, what is it?
There'll be a scramble match.
Cool.
And there will be Everett Connors reading your fortune. It'll be fun.
Yes. And I'll be there for the
also-
first time in a long time.
Yeah, I'd be happy. But yeah, well, 1 year since we've been back, and you're finally returning.
Yep.
If you haven't, you should check out our Patreon account, patreon.com/anarchystl. We have tiers that start at $2, but if starting at $5, you actually get extra content. Everything from, bonus podcasts, the tickets, the free pre-event party, all those good things.
And if you can, I don't know if you've watched it, but we've done a sit-down with Jake Parnell and Jeremy Wyatt. That's on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, the YouTube page, we're gonna
revamp it, bring it back.
Yeah, we're gonna relaunch it. Like we haven't started promoting this yet, but I will here in the next, a couple of weeks. But we're gonna film like a backstage access type deal to Circus Maximus, which pretty much what that'll be is Tommy will be recording most of that day, and then we will edit it down, and you'll have like a neat little backstage access. And we're gonna relaunch our YouTube page. The YouTube page is mostly going to be used for wrestler documentaries, backstage promos, highlight reels, things of that nature. But we've neglected that YouTube page for a long time. So, I don't know, we're going to start. It's going to be a work in progress because we got a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
But we are going to start trying to focus a little bit more on the YouTube page.
So, there you go. Guys, we'll see you July 19th.
Stickers, dear God,
Ah.
Wait a minute. We have stickers coming. Those will be going up for pre-sale soon. Only $5. That'll happen here hopefully soon. Hopefully by the end of this week, but we will see.
Yep. So okay, now can I go home?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about on here. I think
Jesus.
we don't know what next is. In 2 weeks, we have no idea what we're going to do because that is not recorded yet.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out. So, and we're out of friends right now to talk to.
Yeah, my God. Might have to dust off Gary for an interview.
Oh, damn it! Why didn't you talk with anybody at PWCS? Should have gotten Gangreel.
I was going to talk with, Wyatt, but I was producing that sit down face to face, and that took a while. So,
What about Gangrene? You should have talked with him.
oh, sure. Hey, sir, would you mind sitting down? I don't know you at all, doing our podcast.
I'm sure he would have loved it. Yeah. All right, we'll figure something out, obviously, in 2 weeks. And then next week, Patreon gets an exclusive podcast. I don't know what that's going to be either.
If you want to hear that, go to patreon.com/anarchystl, sign up.
At the $10 level, because at $5, you generally get show reviews. $10 levels, you get show reviews and the bonus second podcast, which is, honestly, so far, a lot of it's been like us talking backstage stuff of Anarchy, like what goes into booking thoughts, how cards are made, like all of that. So if you're interested in that,
how much money I steal out of the company to get my hair permed.
yeah, which doesn't look like it's permed at all. So I mean, you're stealing a lot because it looks not like it's permed.
Well, I'm hoping this Circus Maximus draw pops big so I can get me a perm.
All right, big worm, calm down. All right,
Maybe bedazzle some of my clothes.
Jesus. All right, guys, we'll see you at Circus Maximus, July 19th, Friday.